This is the best model I have ever trained. Hello humans, my name is KO Overload, and boy oh boy, do I have some mind-blowing stuff for you today. Because yes, after crowning Wan, our new text-to-image AI king in my last video, I'm back to show you the best and easiest way to train LoRAs with the amazing AI Toolkit WebUI. I will show you how to train people, styles, and even full video LoRAs for text-to-video and image-to-video, all in just a few clicks. And I will show you everything step by step, either locally or on RUNPOD right now. So that being said, sit back, relax, and let's go. And to install AI Toolkit, you have two ways. The first is of course by using the 1 gig installer that is available for my Patreon supporters. Just download the file onto your computer, then double click it. First make sure that you install this in a folder with no spaces in the name. Then it's gonna ask you what is your NVIDIA GPU, number 1 for a 5000 series, or number 2 for older GPU. In my case, I have a 4090, so I'm gonna choose number 2. And then I'm gonna press enter. And then it will automatically download and install AI Toolkit, ready to be used. You don't need to do anything. Now I've already done the entire installation process in my last LoRa context video, so if you need a refresher, just watch this video first. But also essentially, if you want to train a Wan Lora on your local computer, make sure that you have a beefy GPU, like a 4090 for example minimum, or else, what you can do instead, and what I actually recommend you to do, is to actually rent a GPU on RUNPOD for a few cents an hour, and do the training as if this was running on your local computer. Like this is much better because the training time for a Wan Lora takes multiple hours, and even worse if you want to train on videos. And I'm gonna show you later in the video. So although I could do a local training right now on my computer, I will show you instead how to train a Wan Lora on RUNPOD, because the principle is actually exactly the same. It will also avoid my room becoming a literal oven while training the LoRa. But you will see that training a LoRa on RUNPOD or locally for Wan is actually literally the exact same thing. And it is really easy. So once again, if you don't have a RUNPOD account already, you can click the link in the description down below and create an account. So then here you're gonna click pods and you're gonna choose a beefy GPU. So here for example, it all depends on what kind of training you want to do. If you want to do simple text to image LoRa training, you can simply choose the 5090. It's gonna work perfectly fine. Or even if you want to train on videos but with the VRAM optimization cranked up, you can choose the 5090 as well. But if you want to train a video LoRa and you want all the bells and whistles, you can choose the RTX Pro 6000 instead. Now for this video, I'm actually going to choose the RTX Pro 6000. Then you're going to click on the template and choose the RUNPOD PyTorch 2.8.0. Then you're going to click Edit Template. And then you're going to change the container and the volume disk to something like 100 gigabytes. Here under Expose HTTP ports, you're going to type comma 8675. And now you can either click Set Overrides, or if you actually want to enter a password, just in case, you can click on Public Environment Variables, click Add Environment Variable. Here for the key, you're gonna copy and paste this line, AI underscore toolkit underscore auth, and then here for the value, you're gonna choose a password. So for example, I'm gonna say hello YouTube, and then finally, I'm gonna click Set Overrides. Then scroll down and click Deploy on demand. And now you're gonna wait until everything is ready. So then you're gonna click Connect, click on Jupyter Lab, and then here, if you're one of my Patreon supporters, the installation will be very easy for you because I prepared an easy one-click installer. Then you can just drag and drop it right here, and then click on the terminal icon, and then copy and paste these two lines of code that will be in the Patreon post, and then press enter. It will then ask you which GPU are you using, and in our case, usually we will be using the Blackwell one. So although it says RTX 5000 series, the RTX Pro 6000 is actually Blackwell architecture, so you're gonna choose number 1, and then press enter. And then it's gonna download and install everything you need to get AI Toolkit up and running. You don't need to do anything. Then after a few minutes, once everything is installed and you see this local URL, you're gonna go back and click right here. And then here it's gonna ask you your access token. If you remember correctly, this is your password. So in my case it was hello YouTube, then click check token, and then there you go. We are finally inside the AI Toolkit, which if you've watched my previous context LoRa video, you know that this is by far the best WebUI to train any types of LoRas ever. And we're gonna be using this to train a person, a style, and even on videos. And it is really easy to do. You'll see what I mean once we start. Okay, so before we can start training on our dataset, we need to have a dataset. So what exactly do you want to train? Do you want to train a person? Do you want to train a style, a concept, etc, etc? Like really, the sky is the limit. And I gotta tell you, after doing some testing, WAN 2.1 is definitely the best model I have ever trained in my life. I'm gonna tell you, it is pretty much impossible to fail a LoRa training. This is how flexible the model really is. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you how to train a person, because technically the principle is always the same. And for this example, I decided to choose a person that I already had a dataset from a previous video, and that is Margot Robbie. Now the reason why I always choose the same dataset is because I know the kind of quality I can expect from a LoRa. So by using the same exact dataset, I know when a LoRa is ready, and I know when a LoRa is under train. So once again, if you just want to train a person, just get around like 10, 15, 20 images minimum of the person you want to train. Make sure that your images are varied, with different hair, different style, different lighting condition, different positions, etc, etc. Now in my case, I just chose 20 images for the dataset. It is way more than enough. You don't need more than that. Always remember quality over quantity. So then next, make sure that you name them with the same naming scheme. Like for example, I just choose like Margot Robbie underscore 0.0001. And then for each image, I just increment the number. But make sure that each images have kind of like the same naming scheme. And I think that a lot of people really hate what's coming next if you already trained the LoRa before, because now we need to caption our images. So what we need to do is basically create a text file for each image and describe in detail the image. So it is really annoying, but there are a bunch of tools that we can use to make our life easier. Open source tools like Tag UI or Joy Caption. And you can use those tools like Joy Caption to caption any image you want, uncensored or not. But if you are simply training on a person and you want the best results and easier usage possible, the tool that I actually recommend using is actually just ChatGPT. ChatGPT is probably one of the best tools to analyze images in bulk and automatically create captions. And all you have to do is write the correct prompt. So for example, the way you do it, you're gonna first say, I will upload a few images, wait until I finished uploading them all. It's gonna tell you, okay, I'm ready. You're gonna click on this little button and click add photos and files. And the reason we do this is because we can actually only upload up to 10 images at a time. Because if you upload like 11, it's gonna tell you you may only upload 10 files at a time. So there is a limit, but it's fine because you can just upload 10 images. Click open and say something like part 1, then press enter. It's gonna say part 1 is uploaded successfully. So the next you're gonna do part 2 right here. Press enter. And here I only have 20 images, so I can stop right here. But you can actually keep going and do like a part 3, 4, 5, etc. And then here finally you can write something like, these are photos of Margot Robbie. Analyze those images and caption them correctly for a LoRa training using Margot Robbie as the caption token, and convert each single caption into a .txt file and name them all in the same order, and then finally zip them up all into a single zip file I can download. And don't worry, I will copy and paste this in the description down below or on my Patreon page, so you can just copy and paste this. And now if I press enter, and then after a few minutes, once every image was analyzed, it will give you like this link to download a zip file. So if you click on this link right here, it will download a zip archive with all the captions. And now if you right click and then click extract here, and now as you can see, all the images have all a corresponding text file with a precise description of the image. And yeah, I mean, simple as that. And just like that, we've pretty much did the most difficult part of this entire LoRa training. Yeah, that's right, because now we can go back to the AI Toolkit WebUI and then upload our dataset. And to do this is very easy. You're gonna click on datasets, click on the top right corner button that says new dataset, and here you're gonna name it Margot. It doesn't really matter. Then click create. Then once again, you're gonna click on the top right corner button that says add images, and then right here you're gonna drag and drop all the files, all the images, and all the captions together inside that little area right here. So basically, select all the images and then drag and drop them right here. And there you go. Once it's done, you're gonna see that for each image, there is a corresponding caption written below the image. And yeah, there you go. It was really that simple. So now we can go back, click on new job, and then here you will see a bunch of options. But once again, don't worry, you pretty much don't have to change anything. Almost everything is already done for you. Okay, so first I'm gonna start by creating a name for my LoRa. Like for example, let's call it Margot Robbie _W. Then for the trigger word, now you don't really need to do anything. you can just leave it blank, or you can just simply input the trigger word that we used for the captioning, which was Margot Robbie. Now usually before for the trigger word, we used to use something like a special token that the AI model doesn't know, so that it can train on that. But in reality, with these models, with this training, you don't actually need to worry about that. It doesn't really matter. It will work either way. So basically for the trigger word, just use the name of the character that you want to train, and it will work perfectly fine. So then here for the model architecture, you're gonna choose the WAN 2.1 14 billion parameter. I'm gonna explain what these other models do later in the video. And here you don't need to change anything because we're actually gonna use the normal WAN 2.1 text to video model. So that's good. Here you're gonna leave everything by default. Everything is fine. So then here for the training configuration, once again, you can actually just leave everything by default. It really doesn't matter. Now, usually in my testing, 3000 steps is way too much. You're not gonna use them. You're gonna stop way before, probably between like 1000 and 2000 steps. But once again, it doesn't really matter because AI Toolkit is actually so well done that you can easily just pause the training whenever you want and either increase that steps or decrease that. So you can just leave everything by default. It really doesn't matter. Even the learning rate is actually really good because even something like at 0.002, I feel like it's a little much. So the values by default are actually really good. Now, one thing that you can do, for example, is if you input a trigger word right here to save a little bit of VRAM, you can actually unload the text encoder. So you can activate this option and it will use less VRAM for the training. So if you do this training locally, you can do this training on a 24 gigabytes of VRAM. It should be okay, or even less. But in our case, since we are using RUNPOD, it really doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna leave everything by default. So then you're gonna scroll down, make sure that here for the dataset, you choose the correct dataset. But since we only have one, everything is already selected by default. Here for the resolutions, I actually tried different resolution training, and funnily enough, I actually found out that using the normal 512 resolution not only uses less VRAM, train way faster, and also produce the exact same results as if you were training on higher resolutions. So basically just unlock everything and train on the 512 resolution instead. The result will be just as good while being much faster. So yeah, really good. Now here one thing that I'm going to show you later in the video, but if you're training a model for text to image, make sure that the number of frames here is at 1, because otherwise it will think that we're training on videos when in reality we are not. So yeah, if you're training on images, and I'm going to show you later what number of frames you actually need to use if you train on videos, but for this example, since we are training a text to image model, you need to use 1 for the number of frames. So then here, this is our sample configuration. This are the images, all the sample images that will be generated during the training. And this part is actually very important because it will let you know exactly when you need to stop the training. And that's really cool because you can see like the progression of the images during the training. So here there is like 10 sample prompts that you can add more if you want, but 10 is actually more than enough. And I actually asked ChatGPT to create me like 10 simple prompts, which include Margot Robbie in the sentence. And I'm gonna use those 10 prompts for the samples. And I'm gonna make them available to you as well. So you can just copy and paste these lines. So I'm actually gonna select that line right here, Control C to copy it, then Control V to paste it right here. And I'm gonna do the same for each line until I am done. And there you go. It took like 20 seconds. And it's very important that we have a broad selection of different styles, like painting, photographs, and stuff like that, so that we can immediately tell if a model is undertrained or overtrained. Although I'm gonna tell you that with one, it is actually very difficult to overtrain a LoRa. So it really shouldn't be a problem. The model is actually very flexible. Oh, and before we finish, here do not forget to change the number of frames and FPS from 41 to 1 and 15 to 1, because otherwise it will generate a video, and we don't want that. We want a simple image. And now that we have done all of this, well, guess what? We are completely done, because all you have to do now is just click on the create jump button right here, and then click on this little play button to start the training. It is really that simple. And if this is your first time launching, it will actually first download all the models it needs to do the training, and before the training begins, it will first generate all the sample images before the training, so that you can compare them once the training started. And there you go, these are all the images that were generated before the training started. And as you can see, none of these women looks like Margot Robbie. And that is because one does not know who Margot Robbie is. But don't worry, it will. And as you can see, we have now started the training, and it is currently using a little bit less than 24 gigabytes of VRAM. So yeah, you really need a pretty beefy GPU to do the training. But with 20 images and the training parameters, the entire training should be done in around an hour, which is pretty good. Now I'm not gonna stay and wait here for the training to finish, because I've already done a previous training before. I'm actually gonna show you a training that was completed with pretty much the same exact parameters. So as you can see here, once the training has stopped and you have done like the full 3000 steps, you will find yourself in front of all of these images. And as you can see, these are all the images, all the sample images that were generated during each steps of the training. And I love how easy it is to navigate between those images to kind of compare them side by side if you actually click on one image. So like here, for example, you have the number of steps at which the image was generated, and then from here you can actually use your arrow keys on your keyboard to go on the right, to go on the left, to go down, or to go up. And once you're done, well, it's kinda up to you to choose which LoRa you actually prefer. And here it's really a question of personal preference. Keep in mind that for a good LoRa to be, well, good, it needs to be flexible while retaining the person's facial identity. So it needs to look like the person while retaining the original style. So like for example, if you put oil painting, it kind of needs to look like an oil painting. Now, what's really good with this training, with this model, is that it is extremely flexible, and even 3000 steps still give you a very good and flexible LoRa. So here, it's really kind of up to you to decide which one you really prefer. It's really just a question of preference. Like what kind of actual style, what kind of actual results are you looking for, and then download the LoRa that you want. And once you find a LoRa that you like, you can just click on this little button right here to download it onto your computer ready to use. Simple as that. Oh, and also if you want to try like a bunch of different LoRas all together inside ComfyUI, I prepared a special LoRa comparison workflow that you can use, that you can find on my Patreon page. Just drag and drop it inside ComfyUI and make sure to install all the missing custom nodes and make sure that you're running the latest version of ComfyUI. But then to use this is very simple. Just select your model. In my case, I will choose like the Fusion X that I showed in my previous video. And here you can leave everything by default. Now here, for example, just like I put in the note, here you're gonna input your prompt. So I'm actually gonna use the same prompt that is right here, Margot Robbie Cyberpunk Portrait. That looks pretty good. And then right here, you're gonna select all the LoRas you want to compare. Make sure that you are on the right 82 load LoRa. I'm gonna choose like this one, the 2000, the 3000, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then once it's done, I'm gonna click run and wait until everything is finished generating. And there you go, after a few minutes we get something like this, a nice comparison of all the different LoRas at different steps with the same exact prompt and seed. And then it's kinda up to you to decide which version and which style do you actually prefer. And once you've chosen which LoRa you want to use, you're gonna use my one image generation workflow that I showed you in my previous video. Basically gonna choose your model, choose your LoRas, write your prompt, and now if I click run, and in the end it gives us something like this. I mean, this looks really good. I mean, this looks fantastic. So yeah, there you go. Training a person with WAN with AI Toolkit is really simple and can give just amazing results. Okay, so now that we know how to train a person, how exactly do we do to train a style? Well, I mean, it's very simple because it is literally the exact same process. And for this example, I'm going to be using the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure art style dataset that I already had. And the principle is always the same. You get a bunch of high quality images with the corresponding caption. And for the token inside, you use, for example, the name of the author. It doesn't really matter. In my case, I just used the name of the creator of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and just said Hiroiko Haraki followed by style. That's pretty much all you need to do. Then you're gonna do the exact same thing as before. So here I'm actually just gonna stop the training. Then I'm gonna create a new dataset. I'm gonna call it JoJo. Then I'm gonna drag and drop all the images and the caption inside. As you can see, this works perfectly fine. Then I'm gonna go back, click new job, and basically do the exact same thing as we did when setting up the training for Margot Robbie. So trigger word, hierarchical hierarchy style, same as we put in the caption, then 1.2.1 for the model. Here for the number of steps, I actually recommend something like 5,000 steps. Usually styles takes longer to train. You can even go higher if you want, if you have the time, but 5,000 steps I would say it's kinda like maybe the minimum to get something good. But once again, it's kinda up to you to choose which one you want, which one you like. Here you're gonna scroll down. Here you're gonna choose your dataset, the resolution. I'm gonna choose 512 once again. Although for the style, you can actually just train on 1024 resolution as well. It doesn't really matter, the quality will still be pretty good. Here, once again, do not forget to put the number of frames at 1 and FPS at 1. And then here you're gonna choose like a bunch of different prompts for the training. Like there you go. I just input like a bunch of prompts that I copy and pasted from the captions of the image. As long as you input the trigger word somewhere in the prompt. And now, once we're done that, we can click on create job and then start the training. And once again, it will basically do the exact same thing as before. It will generate all the samples and then generate a bunch of images for each step of the training. Now, once again, I'm not gonna show you the rest because I've already done it before. If I actually go to samples, this is how it is. First, it starts with a bunch of random images of anime style. Doesn't really look like a JoJo at all. And then progressively during the training, it kind of starts to look more and more like JoJo the more the training goes on. Up until we go at like 5,000. Which is right here, and we get images like these, which are definitely much better than the ones we had in the beginning. Now I could actually just continue the training if I really want to, if I'm not like happy with the results, but I think that 5,000 steps is actually pretty good, especially because the results that you see right here are not representative of the actual results that you will get once you generate with Comfy UI, which is why it's so important to use the actual XY plot LoRa compare workflow so that you can choose like the actual Fusion X model that you're going to be using. And just like for the person LoRa, you're going to do the exact same thing. Choose the LoRa that you like. For example, I just decided to choose the LoRa at 5,000 steps. Then here you're going to choose your model, choose your LoRa, maybe play a little bit with the value with strength, for example. Then you're going to write your prompt. And now if I click run, and it gives you something like this, which looks, this looks pretty cool. This almost looks like something from the anime. The quality is just incredible. However, what's really incredible is that you can actually make it even better. Yeah, that's right. Because if you actually use the one image upscaler and you input the image that we just generated with the same exact prompt and the style LoRa, if now I click run and after a few minutes we get something like this. An absolutely amazing ultra detailed picture of our initial image. Like this is literally something that could be taken directly from the anime. This is absolutely perfect. Like for example, this is the before, which looks pretty good, and this is the after. So yeah, there is a huge difference in quality, and it's definitely something that you definitely need to try. This is amazing. This is insane. When I told you in my last video that Wan was the king to text to image, I really was not lying. It really is the best model right now. A model that is actually so powerful that you can train pretty much anything with insane quality. So yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty cool. Oh, and yeah, I also forgot to tell you that you can also mix and match the style LoRa with a person LoRa, of course, and merge them together to create something like this, which is obviously absolutely fantastic, which once again, when upscaled, gives something absolutely incredible. Look at that. Just insane. And I know what you're gonna say. Okay, entrepreneur, this is cool and all. Training a text-to-image LoRa is really cool and it's very powerful, but can we actually train on videos instead? And the answer is yes. Of course. However, I'm gonna tell you something. If you plan on training a LoRa on videos, good luck trying to do this on your local computer. Unless you have a 5090, like this is not gonna happen. And even if you do, you're gonna be training this for dozens of hours. So yeah, your best bet is probably using RUNPOD here. This is really something that I need to tell you in advance. But if you want to, you can. And the way to do this is actually, once again, very similar to how you would train a text-to-image LoRa. So I'm not gonna go into too much details on how you can do it, because it will make the video way too long, and also because actually I'm still doing the training right now, because of how long it is, but the principle always stays the same, except that this time you have a bunch of videos. So like for example here, I put a bunch of videos from VO3, and I want to train a vlog style video like you've seen so many on YouTube in the last few weeks. So once you have like a bunch of your videos, the next step is to actually caption them. But how can you do it? How can you actually caption them correctly? Well, you can just ask ChatGPT and do the exact same thing, but the best way to actually do it is to use Google Gemini 2.5 Pro inside Google AI Studio. And what's really good, what's really incredible, is that you can actually just upload all of your videos at once and then ask Gemini to go through the entirety of the video and create a precise caption. And I'm gonna tell you, Gemini is absolutely incredible, and it will create a perfect caption with insane precision for your video. So this is definitely my advice. If you need to caption a video file, definitely use Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. There is no better model to do this right now. So then again, just like last time, once you have all the caption and you have the dataset ready, you're gonna once again create a new dataset. I'm gonna call mine vlog, click add images, where here once again you're gonna upload all the video files and the captions. As you can see, once again, once uploaded, all the video files will have its own caption. So then you're gonna go back, start a new job, you're gonna name your LoRa. So mine I'm just gonna call a vlog style. For the trigger word, I'm gonna use the same trigger word as I used in the captioning, which was vlog style. Then here for the model that you're gonna choose, so you can either choose the text to video model or the image to video model. Now, depending on the model that you choose, it all depends on what you want to do and the types of results that you expect. Like in my case, for example, I want to train a text to video because I want to generate a video from scratch. So in my case, I will be choosing the text to video model. But if your goal is to actually transform an image into a video and train a LoRa on a particular motion, for example, like a different camera motion or a video style, in that case, you will have to choose one of these two options right here, depending on the resolution. And once again, it's kind of pretty much the same. It's just the resolution that changes. The only thing that you will need to change is that if you are training on a image to video model, which is for ATP, you will need to disable all the resolutions and only train on 512. But if you are training on 720p image to video, you might want to enable this resolution instead. And once again, I haven't trained a lot of this because the training really takes a long time. So for this example, I'm going to choose the normal text to video model, same model as we used for generating images. So here for the number of steps, usually for video LoRa training, you might need more steps than image, but once again, it kind of depends on the types of LoRa that you're training. But me, for example, I'm just going to input something like 10,000 steps, and we will stop once we are done, or once I feel like we have a correct LoRa trained. So hopefully before 10,000 steps, because otherwise it's going to take like 2 days. So then here, once again, you can leave everything by default. One thing that you can do, for example, and I recommend you to do, is to actually unload the text encoder, because you have input a trigger word right here. And this will actually just decrease the amount of VRAM that it uses to train the LoRa. When combined with the resolution, will actually allow you to train on a 5090 locally, if this is still something that you want to do. You're gonna choose your dataset. Here, for the resolution, since we use the normal text to video model, I'm actually gonna train on 512 resolution instead. Once again, it's gonna be more than enough. And then here, this is the thing that I was telling you in the beginning of the video. This is the number of frames. So before, when we were training a text to image LoRa, the number of frames was always 1 because it was an image. But now that we have videos, this number needs to go up. And basically this amount of frames depends on the length of the video that you have. One was trained with 15 or 16 FPS videos at 81 frames. So if you actually do the math, 81 divided by 16 is actually 5 seconds, because one was trained on 5-second videos. But keep in mind that if you input here 81 for the number of frames, the training will take a very long time. How long? how about an entire week? So if you actually want to make the training a little faster, you can actually just use the same number of frames as the simple configuration default that you see here, which is 41 frames, which basically corresponds to 2 seconds of videos, like 2.5 seconds of videos, which usually is enough to get the effect that you want. Okay, so then here once again is where we're gonna create the samples that will be generated during the training. Now this time, generating a video definitely takes much longer than an image, so I highly recommend not generating 10 different videos, or else you will be there for several days. So 2 videos should be enough. So here I just input 2 prompts, completely different from all the dataset that I had. Like for example, the first one is like a man in armor running through a medieval village, getting pursued by angry medieval peasants. And the second one is a cyberpunk woman with long pink hair in a futuristic dress, taking a selfie video in the streets of a futuristic city. So these 2 looks pretty good to me. Oh, and one thing we need to change is to actually the width and the height, which are a little too much, otherwise it's gonna take a while to generate. So instead I'm gonna input something like 832 by 480, and then once I'm done, I'm just gonna click create job and then start the training. And I mean, yeah, there you go. It's as simple as that. Now once again, I'm not gonna wait until everything is starting, because I'm actually already making another training, the exact same, so I can show you like the progress at least, because as I showed you previously, this small training with the same parameters would actually still take me 26 hours to complete. And now if you look at the samples, for example, these are the samples that were generated before the training starts. So this is the medieval knight getting chased by peasants. Not really good. You don't really get the selfie camera feel. This one is, well, not really good either. She doesn't really hold the camera as a selfie. If you actually go on step number 250, this is the medieval knight. Still hasn't changed much, but the woman definitely got a little bit better this time. See how the hand here is holding the camera and then everything else behind her is moving? This is definitely the types of videos that I'm training to generate. So this is much better. So now if you go to 500, as you can see, the quality has improved a little bit, but still not what I want. So this is the woman, looks pretty good, but still not exactly what I want. 750 steps. Still not good for the medieval knight, but definitely much better for the woman. See how she's holding the camera with both arms and everything else is like moving behind. You can see like the city, the futuristic city. I mean, this actually looks pretty good. For like a small generation, small resolution video, this looks pretty good. So this is 1000 steps, and as you can see, now we're starting to see some movement, like the medieval knight trying to like grab the camera. So we are getting there, so it's pretty good. And once again, this is the woman at 1000 steps, looks pretty good. This is like 1200 steps with the medieval knight, still not enough movement for my opinion. But now look at what we have with the woman. This is much better. This is exactly the types of videos that I'm looking for, where the woman is holding the camera and then talking, and everything else is like happening in the background. So yeah, we are getting there. It's very slow, but I'm pretty sure that like at steps maybe like 3000 or 5,000, this will get much better. And if you want to see like the progress, I will probably like post an update on Patreon to see how it goes, so that you can see like the final results once it's done. Oh, and also don't forget that I provide priority support for my Patreon supporters, so if you have any question whatsoever, do not hesitate to send me a DM, and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. So yeah, there you go. Now you know how to train a LoRa for text to video and text to image one model. It is really super easy to do with AI Toolkit that you can use to train anything you want. And yes, even the thing that you are thinking of right now. I really mean everything. Everything is possible. So yeah, there you go. So I will make all the LoRas available on my Patreon once they are ready. But that being said, definitely try this out yourself and have some fun. And there we have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you also so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my videos. You guys are absolutely awesome. You people are the reason why I'm able to make these videos, so thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.